Yo guys, welcome back to a brand new video and another episode of my F1 2019 career mode here today, and we are back for some more racing action as we arrive at round 2 of season 4 for the Bahrain Grand Prix. If you guys missed episode, or round 1 should I say, at the Australian Grand Prix, then go watch it by clicking the link in the top right hand corner of the screen and go watch what happened in the curtain raiser in Albert Park. It was a pretty explosive race and there's been a lot of changes to the grid and driver transfers, so go watch that video guys and get up to speed before we jump into this one. But today we are here at Bahrain and we have no rain expected this weekend as you'd expect, and also no upgrades on any teams on the grid for this race either, because it's a bit earlier and pretty much all the cars are nearing out that max out R&D phase. Therefore any upgrades that may arrive are going to be ultimate ones, which should be 3 to 4 races more or less, give or take. So don't expect a major push in development this season, at least not straight away. But in terms of practice, we jumped into things at Bahrain and the car felt pretty good, I can't lie. I was actually quite surprised. It was working nicely. The engine power I could really notice. We was maxing out on the rev limiter right at the end of the pit straight. It was really noticeable how much more power this car has compared to last season, both the old McLaren and also the old Williams I was driving. But overall it was a decent session. We had some decent R&D points put away and I felt pretty confident going to qualifying that we could do a good job. I did do practice on 106 and that seemed to be okay for us. I decided to take a chance and push my luck and try 108 for qualifying though, and we're going to see if we can make it work with that difficulty nonetheless. And traditionally around Bahrain, the AI have always been pretty strong around here. You do struggle against them really, and 110 is near impossible, but we're going to try our best and see what we can do with 108, and hopefully it's an exciting session nonetheless. And you can see there Kimi Raikkonen in his new Mercedes team, new surroundings for him, and there is Valtteri Bottas, his teammate, both of the Finns, the flying Finns in the Mercedes there. Pretty decent driver lineup to be fair as well, even though it's a shame they're at the bottom of the grid in terms of performance. But jumping into qualifying, I've also adjusted my camera angle now for the foreseeable future. So since the latest patch came out, you can now adjust the camera angle team for team, so you can actually have specific camera settings, and that's made a big difference in terms of adjusting the McLaren one by keeping the other cameras on other cars exactly the same. But nonetheless, moving into qualifying, you saw that big mistake into turn 1 and that cost us quite a bit of time. We're now 7 tenths down through sector 2 as we now make our way into the final corner, and we're going to see what this lap is, as Hamilton currently setting the pace with a 123.3 in the racing point. As we open up DRS, we are going to go up to the line and set our first time lap, and it's a 24.2, so not a great lap, 9 tenths off the pace. We are still in the top 10, although later on we got pushed out to 11th, and Leclerc actually, I believe, was the first man to the 122s, really setting the pace. But on this lap we actually had a really good first sector. I was actually up by 2 tenths and we pretty much corrected the mistake I made on the first corner, but then I gradually lost time at every single corner through the rest of sector 2 and really the rest of the lap, and in the end my advantage was diminished to literally hardly nothing, and it wasn't the best, to be honest with you. I couldn't quite get a clean lap together, which was quite annoying, and you see here we do improve by a fraction, still into the 124.2, so we don't actually get out of that, but we are still 11th here. But eventually others would begin to improve, so I know I have to step up here on this final lap, so we're going to try our best and see what we can do. I reckon there's about 2 tenths. I think a 123 is possible, and that would be a good lap for me, to be honest. Carlos Sainz, I believe, is currently on a 123.8 or 0.9, so that's the target. As we go towards turn 1, we're actually run a little bit hot on the brakes and run a bit deep. Luckily we get a relatively decent exit and get the power down quite nicely and open up DRS, and we've actually pretty much matched our previous lap here, which is good to see so far. Now into turn 4, I got too early on the brakes, and then I kind of just didn't run enough speed into the corner, so I lost a tenth on entry. We made up a little bit on the exit by getting some nice clean traction, and we're a couple of tenths down here through the first sector as we make our way down towards the heavy brake zone of turn 8. On the brakes, first gear action, and then quickly back off to third gear, trying to get the traction down, and we are now improving on our previous lap, which is decent. But this corner here, I just didn't get the line right. The car wasn't turning in, the front end didn't really bite in, and I missed the apex completely. I still am, improving by a fraction, but the car just didn't bite in, and I left about 2 to 3 tenths on the table there by not attacking that apex, which was really annoying. And you'll see here now we are still improving by a little bit as we make our way towards the end of sector 2. And you can see on the left hand side we're 9 tenths down on Leclerc currently as it stands. He's currently with a 122.
30 seconds left in the session.
122.8 I believe. And you'll see here we are up by about half a tenth, give or take, as we make our way into the final corner, throwing the car in, trying to open up the corner as much as possible, using all the curb on the entry and then picking up the traction on exit. And we are going to improve by about 3/4 of a tenth. Not much, but we do get into the 124.1s, but ultimately it's not going to be enough, and only 13th for us in qualifying as others improved. But I do think a 23.9 was possible. I think we could have maybe challenged for P10, But overall, we didn't quite have the pace, and Sainz that qualifies us for yet again another race, I believe, and he's in 7th place. So encouraging Sainz in that regard, because the race pace is seemingly much better than the 1-lap pace, which is good. So hopefully we've got a good race car tomorrow. We can try and turn it around with strategy and hopefully overall race pace with this car. But overall, that's it for qualifying here today, guys, and we're now going to move into the race here at Bahrain for the beautiful night race of round 2 of Season 4. Let's jump into it and let's get some points.
There's something in the Bahrain air tonight, and I'm not just talking about the sand. Our brightest minds have thrust their brightest ideas into the spotlight of the Sakhir circuit this evening as we look ahead once more to a Grand Prix that has thrilled us so consistently in the past. We go racing today around 3.36 miles of the magnificent Bahrain International Circuit, with 15 corners and 2 good passing opportunities into turns 1 and 4. Keep an eye out for drivers locking the front left tyre into the tricky braking zone of turn 10. And it's an absolute pleasure to be joined once again by Anthony Davidson. Let's talk about Martinez. They're starting towards the back of the field today in a car that is fast, so they'll be disappointed, won't they?
It's not a nice feeling, I promise you. They've got a quick car underneath them, but they've got onto the grid today and they need a pair of binoculars to see the start lights. They'll be desperate for a good start to make up for some of that deficit.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday puts him on pole, with Kevin Magnussen alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Perez, Hamilton, Max Verstappen and Gasly, Sainz, Russell, Vettel and Daniel Ricciardo, Bottas, Norris, Martinez and Albon, Hülkenberg, Kvyat, Kimi Räikkönen and Roman Grosjean. Giovinazzi and Lance Stroll brings the grid to a close. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Right, here we are then on the grid for the Bahrain Grand Prix, starting way down in 13th place. Not the best qualifying. Having said that, it was still quite enjoyable, actually. Better than past qualifyings around here where we've been knocked out in Q1. So having thought about that, that's not too bad, all things considered. But we're now going to move into the race, and starting from 13th, we are going to get the advantage of a free tyre choice, and we're going to take full advantage of that by using the mediums at the start and going on to the hards and going for the one-stop strategy, which is much, much quicker around this circuit and has worked very well for me in the past. Fuel-wise, we're running 1 extra lap of fuel, making that 1.1, but I'm going to go back down to one lap of fuel there. And yeah, no rain expected, and hopefully the target in this first part of the race is to try and stay competitive on the medium, and then as the race progresses we can try and move on, push on, and hopefully make some decent progress. But that is it, guys. We're now going to move into things here. Hopefully it's a decent race and we can score some big points after a disappointing first race in Australia. So let's jump into it. It's time for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Right, here we go then. Let's try and get a good start here. Build up the revs to the 5 red lights. Lights out and away we go. And it's a good start from us off the line. Second phase, as always, is a bit poor, but we do get away quite well. Bit of space on the outside here. We're going to use that. Bit of debris flying off there, and Alfa Romeo, it seemed like. Around the outside, though, we find a bit of space and make our way up to 11th place. So that's a good start from us. Getting ahead of everybody else on the medium tyres, which is exactly what we need. I could have gone down the inside there, but that would have been a bit risky on Ricciardo. We're just going to try and defend from Bottas. But we're on the back of the top 10 now. All of these guys, of course, are on soft tyres. So it's important for us to make something happen. We get very close to Ricciardo. I think he's got wing damage. He's struggling. Yes, he is. He's missing his front right end place. We're going to go down the inside and take the position. And there we go, up to into the top 10 already. And into the points. It's a good start from us. Ricciardo's struggling. He's going to take some pressure off from behind as well. But we've got George Russell in front of us here already in the Red Bull, quite surprisingly. So Russell struggling in qualifying, it seems, for some outright pace. In the same cars, Max Verstappen, in the same machinery. We've got a Ferrari there as well, who should be slower than us. So I'm liking this so far. Sainz up to P5, I think it seems, or P4 even. He's had a good start in the McLaren, which is fantastic for us. Hopefully, with the race pace we've got, he can maybe go forward in this race. Maybe even trying for a podium. But he is going to be on the 2-stop strategy. Either way, a good opening lap. We're now going to move on to lap 2 and start to sweat a little bit, get our head down, and make our way past a couple of cars preferably and try and get a few more points to our name. Struggling for a bit of pace at the moment as we're dropping off from the guys in front. Luckily for us, Ricciardo is still holding it down in 11th place behind, and the gap is massive. But we now got Russell and Sebastian Vettel going side by side here. I'm trying to get within DRS of these guys, which I might have a chance of doing, to be fair, but I think we're still a bit too far back. Just lacking a little bit of pace in this tyre for now. Hopefully, when the soft tyre starts to fade and the cars in front, we'll have a chance. But for now, we're going to have to sit behind and watch these guys do battle. Looks like Vettel got DRS there, so he's going to probably stay in front. Better lap for us though, 28.0, that's more like it, more on the pace. We should have DRS now on the next straight, so we've brought ourselves into contention, which is good. Okay, we're within range here, so I'm going to turn the engine up. We might have a chance to get past both of these guys, possibly, if we're close enough. Let's see if we can get a good exit through the final corner. That's going to be really, really important. Looks like it wasn't too bad, actually. Sebastian Vettel will be defenceless across the line. Let's see what Russell does. He's going to go to the inside. We're going to get a beautiful double toe down towards turn 1. Sebastian covers off the inside, but we are going to set up the switchback. We're going to get the better exit. Turn the engine up. Vettel does have DRS on Russell though, which is a little bit annoying. We are going to put some pressure on, but not enough. And Sebastian stays in front for now as Russell progresses. Let's try and get past the Ferrari if we can. Oh, good run through there. Nice bit of momentum. We're really close. Down the inside of the hairpin. Late move, but we take it. There we go. Job done. Let's hopefully pick up some DRS from Russell as Sebastian goes around the outside. He's looking to go around the outside. We're going to block that off though and keep him behind us. There we go. Job done. Now let's try and stay within a second of George Russell. So I'm going to turn the engine up and keep it in full power for the final sector to try and close in that Red Bull. At the moment, the battle for the lead is very, very intense. You can see all the leaders in front of us there, all bunched up in a really closely knit kind of group, and they're not that far away. At the minute, on the two-stop strategy, I'm liking our chances here in this race, so I don't have to overcommit or be too aggressive because the strategy will bring us into play anyway, which I really like. So let's just keep it going this way, and let's keep on using the DRS from Russell because we are actually slowly closing in on the guys in front. So let's keep that going.
Some information on Albon. They are out of the race.
First retirement of the Grand Prix, Alexander Albon in the Toro Rosso. Seems like there's not going to be any safety car VSCs, so we'll continue on as normal, which is better for me because it suits my racing strategy that there's no safety cars or VSCs. So far so good. Let's just keep going. We're doing well, keeping within Russell's DRS quite comfortably, and that's what we want. Personal best into the 127s. Pace is good, but we're starting to drop Sebastian now. He can't really keep up. Also, the fuel's burning off as well, which is making the car a bit larger and easier to drive, which is helping us out, hence why the lap times are improving. As I got turn 1 a bit wrong there, running a bit too hot. But we are going to make up for it with DRS, of course, on this straight once again.
Okay, tyres still looking good, Nick. Let's keep them that way for as long as we can.
Yeah, tyres do feel good at the minute. I'm starting to have the pace advantage over Russell here, so I'm going to consider overtaking him here.
Carlos is in the pits.
The leaders pit in, the first of the leaders. We're going to try and get a move on Russell here because I feel like I've got a bit more pace, so we're going to start to put the pressure on a little bit. Stay nice and close through turn 1. Get a good exit through 2. There we go, that will do. I might not be close enough though. We know how quick the Red Bull is on the straight. No, we're not close enough at the minute. But we'll keep the pressure on him. We'll keep him on his toes. Okay, the remaining leaders should be pitting in. Unless one of them tries to go for a one-stopper. But Russell does pit in, there you go, along with the rest of them pretty much.
We're not going to be able to run in this engine mode much longer. We're about a lap over target. Drop down to mix too soon.
Another personal best from us. Hamilton stays out for at least one more lap.
Some information on Kvyat. It looks like the problem is terminal. They're retiring the car.
Wow, both Toro Rossos out of the race in quick succession. Disappointing for them. But we've got Leclerc behind us. He's on soft tyres again, so he's going quite aggressive with his strategy. Although I'd say that Bottas has overtaken him. But Hamilton is the only one that remains, and then we should inherit the race lead for a couple of laps. Okay, Lewis pits in, so we are going to inherit the race lead here. Leclerc's now up to 3rd place. He's got past Bottas and he's got clean air. But there you go, Hamilton pits, so Leclerc will take 2nd place back. And at the minute, but the gap we have to Leclerc is a net gap. So we are the net race leader with the one-stop strategy. So everyone's got to catch up to me. We've got a 16-second gap to Leclerc here. This is looking pretty damn good. I'll make that 12 seconds now as it updates with Hamilton overtaking him. Looks like Hamilton's gone to the hard tyres though, as has Perez. So maybe the racing points though going to the end. So that might not make me the race leader anymore because of that strategy change. So we'll see how this one progresses. I wonder if anybody else has gone for the hard tyre. But for now, let's just keep doing our thing. Keep running at our pace. Because we've got a good race pace here out front on the medium tyres. And we've got a couple more laps to go before we box in. 26.7. Leclerc setting the pace. That's pretty damn quick. About 2 seconds a lap quicker. The Sainz now up to 3rd place. He's also on the soft tyres. So Sainz and Leclerc at least going for the aggressive double soft tyre stint at the first part of the race.
Pit window open. Let's box this lap.
I'm not sure if I will. I'm trying to weigh out my options here. Looking at my tyre wear. Could I go another 5 laps and go to the soft tyre possibly? I've got a nice 7.4 gap I can afford to burn to Leclerc, so could I go for a set of softs in the final stint possibly? Maybe pit around lap 18. That could be a possibility. Tyre wear seems pretty good in this car. Or do I go the hards and play it safe? But then I won't have a tyre to really make a difference with. I actually don't know what to do here. I'm quite torn. Well, I've thought about it long and hard, but we're going to pit in for the hard tyres. Reason being is because I thought I had fresh soft tyres at my disposal, but I actually don't. So we're going to have to just go for the hards and suck up the pain of being on a slower tyre. So we may not be competing for the win anymore, but I think a podium could still be possible. So let's hope for that. Here we go.
Complete, go now.
Pit stops need to get better, man. 2.107 isn't good enough. There's a bunch of cars we're going to rejoin behind. There's Hamilton on hard tyres, so he's the target. There's Norris, yet to pit still.
Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
There's Sebastian Vettel just behind us on soft tyres again. So we're P10, still in the points. Norris, of course, yet to stop. But we know where Hamilton is, just up the road. He's going to the end, so that's the target. I wonder if we have the pace to get after him. We are going to have much fresher tyres. And he is caught up in a bit of a battle, so we might have a chance of getting after him. But we need to use these tyres, especially while they're fresh, and make the difference. Sainz pits, probably for medium tyres, along with Leclerc as well, who I'm expecting to pit in. So let's see what the gap is, and let's see how much time we've lost. There's Leclerc.
We advise moving to mix 2, fuel to mix 2.
So it was actually Magnussen in the pit box. So Magnussen staying out for one more lap. Sebastian Vettel pits in, who's behind us. And there's Sainz on track. He's the next car behind us in clean air, which is good. He might get a chance to undercut Leclerc slightly, but let's push on here. We need to keep pushing. The race is not over yet. First track extension there. Not much of a concern though around this track, so we should be okay. Currently on for a personal best. I'm trying to push. That's the reason why. Leclerc should be in this lap, surely. Along with a bunch of other cars. Across the line we go. Personal best, and there is Leclerc leaving the pit exit now on medium tyres. So he has got a bit closer by staying out longer on the softs, which I kind of feared anyway, to be honest with you. That's why I also did another lap on the mediums. I felt like the medium was quicker than the hard tyre, but Leclerc is a lot closer and he's got a better tyre, so this is going to be a very intense battle. We are P5, Russell in front of us yet to pit, so it should be at least P4. But I think Leclerc is not done yet, and he's going to have something to say about the end of this race and where we finish.
Okay, some information on Sainz. They're slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car.
Damn it. Not already, man. I'm not having this. We had enough of this Williams last year, but Sainz is going to start going backwards now, unfortunately. And he's in front of Magnussen as well, which is a real shame in front of the Williams car, but it begins already. The second drive of bad luck, if you will, the curse continues. Okay, the remaining cars pit in. Here comes Leclerc though. We're going to be on the podium for a little while. It's going to be a very brief third place as here comes Leclerc in the Williams. I'm going to try and match him on the brakes into turn 1. On the inside. I've actually got DRS here, and we're going to go around the outside and hold on. We'll get DRS up the hill towards turn 4, so we'll stay in front for now, which is really, really important. But this is now a battle for third place. Hamilton up the road, but I don't think we've got the pace to catch him, unfortunately. He's too far away. Oh wow, Leclerc's actually got the one on me here already. Didn't expect that. He's obviously got his engine turned up. He gets past. Completely caught me napping there. I wasn't expecting that. Let's try and stay within range, stay within a second. And maybe try and repass him on the pit straight, possibly. These hard tyres are not very good, though. I am struggling for some general grip. I think Magnussen might even catch us up as well, possibly. So, we'll keep an eye out for that. But we're not done yet with Leclerc. Let's see if we can try and come back at him. Trail braking to the final corner. We have dropped back quite a bit. Leclerc's had a really good exit. Can we get past? Let's see. Come on, McLaren. We're on the limiter, 345 Ks. Not close enough. If I can get exit here, that'd be good, but I don't think I am. And I think that might be Leclerc gone. Come on, come on. Oh, no chance. Leclerc's running at full power. You can just see I'm barely making a dent on the straight to the Williams. So Leclerc gets third place, and he's got the fastest lap to his name as well. Hopefully he can maybe catch the racing points and give them a bit of trouble, but for us it's going to be P4 at best here today. Leclerc 26.3. We do a 27.3, so that's how far off the pace we are. And I was the one that got DRS on that lap, so that says a lot about the pace. And we are lacking a bit of speed generally compared to the top teams in the minute in this McLaren, but at least we're competitive. But we now got 8 long laps to go, 9 long laps to go really, and Magnussen's got a good chance to get past it. So we've got to try and stay concentrated and keep the pace up. We can't just back off and relax. Leclerc still going, 26.3, really strong pace from him. At the minute, Magnussen is on course to catch me up before the end of the race quite easily. 26.1 from Leclerc, really strong pace there. Magnussen's really closing in now, he could be within DRS in about a lap's time. I'm saving up my battery and a little bit of fuel so I can use that to defend, because we are going to have to work hard to keep Magnussen behind. 24.0 from Leclerc, showcasing the pace of the Williams, as now Magnussen is on the back of us here, and we are going to have to defend. Here he comes, he's got a lot of momentum.
Pretty much burned off our excess fuel. We'll be back on target soon. Don't wait too long to turn the engine down.
He had a lot of momentum there, Magnussen. Not much we could have done about that. I'm going to try and stay close if I can. Oversteer, that's not what you want. That's awful. No traction there whatsoever. And Magnussen gets past straight away. First time of asking. And not much I could have done really. You can see the difference when that Williams had his engine turn up. I'm still convinced that AI can go quicker than what I can on the straight, because I was never that quick in the Williams on the straights. But then again, this car probably isn't the quickest. But either way, you could just see the difference in speed. Nothing I could really match, to be honest, even at full power.
Right, some information on Hamilton. They have some kind of mechanical problem.
That could be good for us, although I do think he might be a bit too far away. He's quite a way up the road, so we'll see how bad the severity of it is. But if it is quite severe, we might have a chance of getting 4th place back. Last push now, trying to catch Hamilton, but I think he's too far ahead. If anything, Magnussen may have had a chance, but I think 1 more lap or 2 more laps for me, in my case, we would have caught him. Just using up everything I've got left as Perez wins in the desert for Racing Point. Leclerc comes home second and sets a 125.5. His final stint was fastest lap after fastest lap after fastest lap. Him in that Williams is looking like a really strong combo.
They're speeding up again, so I expect they fixed whatever the problem was.
And there you go, Sainz back up to speed, but we come home P5 and there's some strong points.
Okay, good job, mate. Really well done. That was a fantastic drive.
That was brilliant stuff from Racing Point today. What a superb victory. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, I think it was clear what the main contributing factor out on the track was today: speed. I know it sounds like an obvious thing to say, Crofty, but fast cars win races, and we saw that today with our winner.
The Racing Point team will be very happy with today's performance and the final result. Another display of excellent driving and excellent teamwork, and a well-deserved first-place finish.
Right, so here we have the final race results, and Sergio Perez wins the Bahrain Grand Prix ahead of Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton holding out for that podium, even with those car issues at the end. Magnussen P4, and it's very much Racing Point versus Williams at the moment in the championship as we come home in P5 with the one-stop strategy ahead of Max Verstappen and George Russell. Then we've got Pierre Gasly in 8th ahead of Lando Norris and Sebastian Vettel running out the top 10 with Hülkenberg, Bottas, Giovinazzi, Raikkonen, Grosjean, Sainz missing out on the top 10. Sainz with car issues really suffering at the end because he was, ahead of Verstappen. He would have been 6th or 5th. He was battling with, he was actually ahead of Magnussen now I think about it. So Sainz could have potentially been 4th or maybe even 3rd today had those issues not occurred. So that's really annoying for both myself, the team, and also Carlos Sainz. But not Stroll, Ricciardo, they're running out the classified runners with Kvyat and Albon, the double Toro Rosso DNF here today in the Bahrain Grand Prix, running at the top 20. And in terms of the standings, we overtake Carlos for 5th place, and we're currently, 5th and 6th. We're not too bad, a decent amount of points to share already, as Leclerc leads by 1 point over Sergio Perez. Hamilton in 3rd ahead of George Russell, who's up to 4th place, and Magnussen with his first points there, up to 7th, I believe, for Williams. And in terms of the Constructors' Championship, we're in 3rd, quite a way behind Williams and Racing Point, and only 5 points ahead of Red Bull Racing. But guys, that is it here today for the Bahrain Grand Prix, and yeah, overall, bit of a reality check really. We are quite a way off the pace, and it's not going to get any easier because China is not a good track for me, and also Baku after that isn't a good track either. So until Spain, really, we're kind of just hanging on. But I'm gonna call it a day there and say, what, we go again in the next episode, and hopefully in the next race we'll put some upgrades on for the Spanish Grand Prix. So we'll bear that in mind. But guys, that's it for this video. If you guys enjoyed it, drop a like and get subscribed if you are new for daily Formula 1 content, and also turn on notifications to not miss any videos from me, and also finally check out these 2 videos on your screen if you have missed them. But other than that, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next episode very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.